Hi, today's message is about some resources that I promised to share in my first video. So the first one is Yoga for Emotional Flow by Stephen Cove. This is something that came out probably a little over 20 years ago, originally came out on CD. It's now available for download on Amazon. There's two sets of recordings. There's a set that explains what emotional energies are, how they're processed in the body, what happens if they get stuck. And then there's a set of guided exercises, which I found very helpful. One is called the Daily Body Scan. The second one is called Riding the Wave. And the third one is called Clearing the Energy Field. All three of them are great guided exercises. The second resource that I really want to share is meditation. It is the key that holds everything together. Because until you learn to meditate, your mind will keep doing its thing. It's going to keep running the show. And when you first sit down to meditate, it's going to keep trying to run the show. It's not going to shut up. It's going to tell you 1,000 reasons why this won't work. I'll tell you that when I sit down to meditate, I make sure that I have time to meditate. Because that's the first excuse that my mind will come up with is, oh, you don't have time for this. You got to be doing something else. And it'll list all the 1,000 things that's on my laundry list of things to do. So make sure that you have time. Make sure that you're in a place where you won't be disturbed. I have used a lot of different meditations over the last 20 years that I've been meditating on and off. I've been meditating for the last 2 or 3 years pretty consistently, and certainly this year, almost every day. I've used a wide variety of meditations. You have to find what works for you, and YouTube has hundreds of meditations available for free. But once you establish a regular meditation practice, which method you use won't matter all that much. And what I'm using now is a couple that makes meditation videos out on YouTube called Dextra and Alessandrina. I really like them. They have a wide variety of meditation offerings, different topics, different lengths. You can meditate anywhere from 12 minutes to an hour to an hour and a half, whatever works for you at the time. I will say that sometimes when I sit down to meditate and I get into that zone and the meditation's over, I will find another meditation so I can get back in that zone. Because once you start to get deep in meditation and you start to experience a level of peace that you've never experienced before in your life, that can become addictive, right? You want to experience more of that because our world right now is steeped in chaos. And once you start to experience peace, you start to crave that and want to feed that on a regular basis. And once you absorb that level of peace into your being, your life will start to work better. The things that bother you just won't. The things that you used to be attracted to, whether it was the news or violent movies or violent video games, won't feel as attractive to you. You won't crave the same things. There have been a couple of times when I sit down to meditate and my mind is doing its thing. I may get 5 or 10 minutes into the conversation and my mind won't shut up. And so I will start the meditation over. And I may get 10, 15, 20 minutes into it. And I will start the meditation over again until my mind stops talking. And it's kind of like if you've ever broken a horse. When the horse finally stops bucking and just accepts that, okay, I've got this person on my back and this is how it's going to be, then life gets more peaceful. When your mind finally accepts that you're not going to give up and you're committed to this, it will eventually give up and surrender to the process. And when it does, that's when you have the opportunity to go deeper than you've ever been before and find peace that you've never felt before. So I hope that you got something out of today's video and that you will apply it and find what works for you. Again, the things that I share aren't the way. This is not the Mandalorian. This is the way. So it's not the way. The things that I'm sharing are a way. But I will tell you that meditation is the most important tool that I've ever come across. And it pretty much is the way. But as far as everything else, as far as what meditations you use, find what works for you. There's plenty out there to choose from. Thank you.